On a Saturday morning in Cicero, Illinois, a young couple got in the car with their one-year-old child and drove to a Sam's Club to go grocery shopping. When they arrived, they saw a large law enforcement presence, some sort of an operation going on in the parking lot, and so they turned their car around to leave. As they were leaving the Sam's Club parking lot, this happened. Please show the first video.
Of what appears to be pepper spray thrown by a federal agent into Rafael Veraza's car. He says he was just pulling out of the Cicero Sam's Club parking lot with his window rolled down when the spray hit Veraza on the side of his head.
Mama, you okay, Mama? You okay?
Seconds later, he realized his daughter, one-year-old Ariana, was in the back seat, also battling the chemicals. Veraza says she couldn't open her eyes and struggled to breathe.
I had water to water down my face and basically water down her face because I didn't know the effects of the pepper spray towards her.
Rafael says Ariana did not have to go to the hospital, but he did. He says the pepper spray hit him directly in the ear, which caused him to have a severe reaction with his asthma.
When I got to the hospital, my heartbeats were at 263 per minute.
Do you know how dangerous it is to spray pepper spray into a moving vehicle? Not only could that kill the people inside the car, it could kill other drivers and bystanders who might be hit by the vehicle. There is not a law enforcement agency in this country that teaches its officers to do that. In fact, in most law enforcement agencies, those officers would be fired. But not in Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security. We don't know who these officers were or if they were disciplined in any way. All we know is that the White House keeps telling them that they have, quote, absolute immunity. Absolute immunity, pepper spraying a young family in a moving vehicle. And whenever we call attention to these kinds of abuses, the first thing the administration does is try to blame the victims. But this is a family of United States citizens. They weren't even protesting, they were just out to get groceries. And this keeps happening again and again and again. Show the second video, please.
From our son's basketball game at Anderson Middle School.
As the night unfolded,
we started to see, light stuff.
One North Minneapolis family trying to make their way home.
Like even trying to leave, I couldn't go backwards, forward. It was like I was stuck.
Destiny and Sean Jackson, along with their 6 kids, had just left the nearby grocery store after the game when they turned onto Lyndale. Sean says they tried to take a side street after they saw the crowds.
There's nothing we can do if it's blocked off.
Sean and Destiny say they were stuck between crowds of protesters and law enforcement. When law enforcement tried to disperse the crowd,
all we heard was boom, and every airbag deployed.
They say a flashbang went off near their car as tear gas enveloped them.
And I was screaming for my oldest son, Sean. I'm like, get out, get out. Like, I can't, Mom, and I can't breathe.
Destiny says bystanders pulled her into a home to check on her as she screamed that her 6-month-old child was still in the car.
He was just like lifeless, like he had foam around his mouth, and you can see he had tears coming out his eyes. I was getting him out to mouth, and I remember stopping and I said, I will give you all my breath till you get yours back, because nobody wants to see their kids like that.
What was the response of the Homeland Security Department leadership after this? Did they express remorse? Did they suspend the agents or launch an investigation? No. They put up a false tweet blaming that family, the victims, calling the Jackson family, quote, radical agitators. Now, unlike a lot of the victim-blaming tweets that the administration posts, they actually took that one down because it was so indefensible. But why was it put up in the first place? What does it say about the rotten culture at the Trump Department of Homeland Security that when American citizens are hurt by federal agents, the response is to immediately blame the victims before you even know the facts? Now, we can keep going and going. These are just a couple of examples, and I know that this hearing is supposed to be about TSA and cyber, which is important, but when the federal government is sending poorly trained masked agents into the streets, beating and gassing peaceful people, including American citizens, we cannot pretend that this is normal and act like it should be business as usual. We need real standards in place, just like every other law enforcement agency in the country has, to make sure that federal agents are well-trained, do not use excessive force when not warranted, and are held accountable when they do things like tear gas a family inside a moving vehicle. This has to stop.